Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. First, I have had my hair cut this week, still trying to figure out how to style it. You know how it is the first time you wash it yourself after you've had the special hairdresser style. I think I need to get a smaller curling brush just to give it a little bit more wave. It just kind of feels a little bit, I don't know, not quite right. Yeah, I needed to get a nice little shortcut for getting into some warmer weather and to get my fringe trimmed again, and it felt like a good time getting new glasses to go with a whole like fresh look. Been much calmer weather-wise this week, thank goodness. After the craziness of the past few weeks, the wind has absolutely calmed down. So hopefully that stays that way over the rest of the spring and into summer as well. So thank goodness no more power outages, touch wood, and everything has been much more calm. It has felt a little more into spring. We're starting to get some buds and some flowers and some green growth happening. So that will be nice to see. It's interesting, the garden hasn't recovered quite as much as I thought it might. It did get quite badly frost damaged a couple of times over the winter. And some of the things that I have sort of left to see how they would go are not growing back as well as I had hoped that they would. So I'm going to have to, I think, plant some new things through the garden, especially out here in the shed. It's looking a little bit sparse at the moment, and I've been getting like the time hop photos of how things looked a few years ago, and I had lots of flowers. I think that's when I first planted a lot of things, and yeah, it's just nothing compared to that. So I need to add some colour out there. The first signs of spring are also making the cats quite happy. There are a lot more birds to sit and watch, and they make funny little noises and wag their tails, and it's quite fun to watch them watching the birds. The sheep are starting to get on top of the grass out here, which means I think it's about time, probably early next week, where I will close off the portion out this side of the shed and leave them just in their main paddock with the shelter and the big water bath, and give this section a chance to get a little bit of regrowth before we get into the summer. I certainly want to be able to provide them with enough grass over the summer months, which might mean moving them back over into the clothesline area near Nassie again in a little while as well. But if I can manage this space, give it some water, give it some sun when the sun shines, and let it grow and kind of rotate them back and forth, that will hopefully help to prolong the growth as much as possible. And it has been good grass growing weather in our stock run area and down our old driveway. We had the cows in there probably a month or so ago, and now we've put the horses in there. We have two horses that are registered here, and so we've just put them in that area and left their paddock to rest a little bit. And so they've been in this past week eating the grass in there. Today, I drove my car over here to the shed because I'm going to be packing for a market, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I was really grateful that they're actually down towards the bottom of the old driveway. So I didn't have to worry about them like when I'm opening gates and getting in and out of the car to maneuver. Hopefully, they will stay down there until I'm done here. And then it'll be easy for me to get back out again. Otherwise, I might have to leave my car over here until a little bit later to try and manage the gate so that the horses don't escape into the wrong area. This week, I'm wearing the Tau cardigan by Melanie Berg. I knit this back in 2016, and it still looks like brand new. This is out of my own yarn in the While the Sun Shines colorway. And I'd created this color because I wanted to be able to wear a yellow, and I couldn't find a yellow that actually I felt suited my complexion and my coloring. So I experimented for a little while and came up with this, and it actually has purple in its base, which gives it that golden color. And I was inspired by seeing lots of rolls of hay sitting out in the paddock, and that's the kind of tones and colour that they have when they're sitting drying. This cardigan is nice to wear. It's got a reasonably open neck, so you kind of have to be a bit careful about what you wear underneath. But it's got the detail of these slip stitches and long stitches here on the cuffs, and also down the front panel here. These actually open up, all of these buttons, and I keep considering whether or not I should actually just sew it closed, because I don't really wear it open. I've sometimes just opened it up and had that little flap just hanging over, but it seems an odd one to actually wear open because it is one side. So you have all this fabric here open on one side and just the small part on the other. So as I said, I've never actually worn it open. I always kind of wear it as a jumper. So I probably should just sew these closed. It'll take a little bit of the pressure off the buttons, keep the buttons and they're all buttoned up. I think it would probably make it an even better cardigan to wear. One thing to note with this pattern is that I cast on for the size 32, because it said that there was 10 centimeters of positive ease, and I got gauge. So I went ahead and started, but when I split for the sleeves and tried it on, it was way, way too small. So I absolutely wanted this pattern, and I dyed this yarn specifically to knit this. So I ripped it back and I cast on for the size 40 and then reknit again. And from there, it fit really well. So maybe if you are knitting this pattern, just be aware that it might be a little bit on the small size, and you probably want to go up a size or two to get the size that you want. I think maybe I'd even read the pattern wrong. I don't know. Maybe the ease was not added in. I don't know. So yeah, but I did have to go up when I had realized that it just was not going to fit on that smaller size. So as I said, I've driven the car over here to the shed because as this video goes live, I am going to be setting up for the Romsey All About Fibre and Yarn Market. So right now, well, as soon as I finish recording, I'm going to be packing my car for that. I have all of the boxes and tubs and racks and everything ready to go. I did that earlier in the week. So all I need to do is get it into my car so that I will be all set. I'm really looking forward to the Romsey market. We had one there last year and it was really fabulous. So I'm sure it'll be the same again. So I'd love to see you if you're in the area. Come and say hi and check out all of the lovely yarny goodness that will be there. I think I said last week that my hope was to get quite a few batches of Bright and Mary, my Christmas colorway, dyed up this week. And that has happened, which I'm really happy about. It is finishing drying right now, and we've got a little bit of sun on it at the moment, so that should get it dry. I was able to get batches done on DK, sparkle sock, and regular sock, so I have almost caught up on all of the orders that have already come in. Thank you if you've already put in an order, and I will be hopefully getting that first batch of orders out in the next week, and then just progressively working on the pre-orders as they come in. Orders will be open until the 14th of October, and then I will be sending out hopefully my last lot of orders in the first week of November. At Romsey Market and at the next few markets as I go, I will have a little sample on my display of the colours that are available in the mini skeins. Hang on, let me go get it and I'll show you. Okay, so I've created this little display so that I can have this on my stall for the next few markets, and it's got an evergreen, a crush, a limoncello, and a raspberry in there, as well as a skein of the Bright and Mary. Sorry, the colour's kind of not working properly. That's a bit better back here. So I'll have this on my display, and I will also have a QR code that will take you directly to the order page so that you can order or pre-order the yarn there. And then once the pre-order has closed, Any sort of leftovers from the batches I will have available in my shop and at markets. And I'm going to do a small run that will be available at the Bulleen All About Fibre and Yarn Market, which is the first weekend in December. So that will be my Christmas yarn for this year. There's the colours there. There you go. It's much better on the back. How weird is that? After last week being very low production knitting week, I have done quite a bit this week. So I'm happy that I'm able to share some stuff with you. I worked on my bombed yarn stripy socks. This is the first one that's completely finished, and I had that finished already last week. And I think I only had the toe cast on last week, and I am about to put the heel in on the second one. So I've done quite a lot on my sock, and this is bombed yarns in the Who Gives a Flying Flathead self-striping colorway. Oh, and I always forget to say I use the Fish Lips Kiss Heel pattern for all of my self-striping and plain knit socks, and I find that that is the best fit for me. Now for my little love. I did give it a little love this week. Last week I hadn't done anything on it at all, but I've made quite a bit of progress. It's in the Fairfield Fins in the logwood colour, and last week or the week before even, I was over on this side, and I was down here. I finished where I needed to be for the sleeve here. So this is now on holder. And I've picked up on the other side, and I think I have about the same number of rows that I needed to do on this side left to do on this side now. And then I believe that I should be able to, I need to read the pattern because I don't honestly know. Then I think I should be able to join the sleeve at the underarm here, join the sleeve at the underarm here, and then work the front and the back all in one go. I think that's what happens. And then I'll have nothing on holders and just knitting to do. And I think what I'll do is I'll knit a little way down below the sleeve line, and then I will put it back on hold, and I will knit the sleeves so that I can get the length for the sleeves, and also so that I can, I feel like when you knit top down, if you leave the sleeves till last, sometimes the sleeves kind of pull the whole garment up, and you end up cropping your cardigan or your jumper without really realizing it, because you kind of thought that it was going to sit here and it sits back up here, and you need to add some extra to your body. So I would normally do the sleeves before I finish the body so that I can get my lengths correct. What I found was with this second side, so I had to pick up, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera. See this line here? I had to pick up stitches along there to add this portion in here. So these were on a holder, and I had to pick up from this corner out to the end. And I think I ended up picking it up like 5 or 6 times. I just could not get it right. It looked wonky. I was not picking up anywhere near enough stitches. And it was much easier when I went from the outside edge to the corner when I did the other side, but because this is the reverse, I had to go from the corner to the outside edge, and for some reason I just could not get the pickup correct. So I finally got it done, and then I've also knitted all of that. So yeah, I did actually spend quite a bit of time on it this week and back to loving it. I mean, I was loving it before, but I just couldn't get my knitting to happen. Um, I did take a photo this week of Quinn luxuriating over the top of my knitting, which is clearly what was happening the week before, and I kind of hadn't really realized it that much, and I just ended up sitting and patting him and not worrying. But yeah, I was really keen to knit, and he just wanted to sit all over the top of me. So I've either been knitting over here in the shed a little bit, or I've found that in the evenings, if I don't sit in my recliner, if I actually sit in bed, the cats don't bother me, so they will sit somewhere else, and then once I turn the lights off, then they'll come and sit on the bed with me. So I have gone from deciding to sit in a recliner in the evening to knit to sitting up in bed, and it's making a huge difference. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.